Hi, my name's Martin and I'm from Walks. In this video with Parkinson's UK today, we're going to be having a look at balance and coordination exercises that you can do to improve your walking, to make you more stable when you're walking, whether that's uphill or downhill. I'm joined by Jill. Jill's going to be using a chair for support. If you were outside, it might be a tree or a park bench, but make sure that you feel comfortable. I'm joined by Lucy. Lucy's got no support here, so it's going to be harder for her. So what she might need to do during the session is put her foot down for a rest. She can step on the spot when she's doing it, and then she can join in once again. Remember, you might have to have water nearby, have a phone just in case you need to call somebody. If you need to rest, you can sit down. If you just want a half rest, you can just step on the spot so you can keep yourself moving. Work at the level that's right for you. So let's begin then. Push down on the poles or lift one foot and gently circle your ankle one way. So we're just gently starting with the exercise, preparing the joints for the movements. These are great warm-ups if you're going to take yourself outdoors on a walk. Ankle circles help you deal with uneven terrain, help you keep you more stable. Change feet. So if you've got the poles, push down on the poles, feel that lifts you that little bit more. Gently circle your ankle one way and gently circle your ankle the other. And now let's warm up our calves and the back of our thighs. So rocking backwards and forwards. You can start to bring your arms in. So Lucy might bring her arms in that little bit more. I've got the poles to support. Jill's got one hand for support, but she can swing the other arm before changing sides. So changing sides, if you want to make it a little bit more vigorous, you can come right the way up onto your toe, back onto your heel, onto your toe. And we've got things started. Good. So let's get ourselves started. We're going to move straight into some of the balance exercises. I'd like you first just to put your foot down. We're going to lift ourselves and lift one knee, and then just if you're using poles, take the poles away, finding your balance there, and then bring it down, change sides. So you're trying to feel the balance that might be required. Now if I've got poles, push down through the poles, that you'll feel that your stomach engages. Jill can push down on the counter, on the table that she's using. If you're using a counter at home, you can push down on the counter, feel that lifts you just a little bit, and you might want to hold the position now and just see if you can stand there a little longer. Now this is really useful. What's happening here, if you push down on the poles, if you stand on one foot, you're starting to work the muscles of the hip to help you stay supported. That's helpful with your balance while you're walking. And I'd like you just now to rest on the spot, so step on the spot here. Being balanced is not just about standing on one foot. We need balance when we're walking. We need balance when we're walking downhill. So we're going to now just tap your heel forward. I'm using the poles. When we walk downhill, we need to use the muscles of your thighs to support the movement downhill. This exercise here, we're starting to bring in the muscles of the thighs. We're stabilizing the knee. And we're just bringing in a degree of coordination as well. You can make the movement slightly larger if you wish, so you reach your heel further forward. Good. We're going to do all these exercises for about 30 seconds, 30 to 40 seconds, and then we'll have a rest. If you need to rest earlier, you can do that. And in fact, let's have that rest now. As we go through the session, I'm going to increase the intensity of the balance exercises. This next one, again, I've got the poles to support. You're going to tap your toe back and then bring your knee up and try and hold the balance there. We're going to work just on one leg for the duration here. So tap back and bring your knee up. Now notice here, as I come up, if you want to, you can try to lift the poles from the floor, put them back down, but you don't have to. Here you come up and hold, and as you hold yourself, I'd like you to feel that you're lifting up through your body. If you've got poles, you can push down, feel your tummy muscles engage, maybe hold a little bit longer, and go back and lift. Do another couple. Can you feel this in your tummy muscles as you stand and try to hold yourself there? One more, Good, and then just step on the spot. You might feel that you're a little bit tired in that leg. Just stepping on the spot. You don't have to lift your whole foot, you can just lift your heel if you want. Get your breath back, make sure you feel comfortable. You can, if you've got poles, you can punch forward and backward, or Lucy, as she's doing with no poles, just swinging your arms from the spot. Remember, we want that large movement from the shoulder, and you can use this as a recovery element of this session. So let's go to the other leg. So we're going to tap back and then bring your knee up and try and hold that position. Your choice, either using the poles for support, or maybe as you come up, lifting the poles away from the floor. I've got that benefit here, as I've got the poles when I need support, and I've got the postural lift from the poles. Lucy's having to do it without, so she might have to have a rest, and Jill's going to use the chair for support all the time. But to make it slightly harder, she might just be light on her hand, so it's not putting too much weight through the chair. Good, and then come away from there, so stepping on the spot. We don't just want to walk forward and backward, we're going to start to bring in sideways movement. If you were outside, you might walk sideways looking out over a field one direction and then turning and facing the other way. So we're going to step side to side, a couple of steps. If you've got more space, feel free to go further with this. Lucy's going to challenge herself a little bit by taking larger steps. She might dip down a little bit more. We do a bit more of that in the strength video. Good. So keep working through here. Important to be able to move in different directions. With the poles, I'm moving the poles as I step, so they're always giving me the support. They give me a bit of lift as well. I'm pushing down on the poles to get the lift, and then come back to the center. Just get your breath back, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. So I'm going to bring in a slightly more challenging balance exercise now. In our classes outside, we might bring in strength exercises. If you're outside, you might bring this in. We're going to reach forward. It's an arabesque, reaching forward. Now, notice I've got the poles for support. If you're not certain about this one, start this exercise with having a chair in front of you or a table in front of you, something that you can hold on to. If you're outside, maybe on the back of a park bench. And this is really useful here. My supporting leg is slightly bent as I reach forward. We're working the muscles on the back of the thigh, on your bottom, and supporting your back as well. We're going to do just on one leg. We're going to have a rest in just a second. One more. Good, and then rest off there. So you'll feel that, hopefully you'll feel that on the back of the thigh. Maybe feel it on your bottom just a little bit. Quite useful, this exercise. This is the function of this. If we go down to pick something up, we should pick up, maybe you should bend both knees to pick up, but we often don't. We reach for a shopping bag and we reach it up. So this is an exercise which helps give us that functional strength. Let's do the other leg. So knees slightly bent, reaching forward. If you've got the poles, I've got the poles in front of me, they're giving me the support, and then come on up. So Lucy, doing okay, Lucy? Good. Remember, Lucy, if you find it tiring, maybe even better with this one to do just a few well than feel you have to keep going for this duration that I'm doing now. You can build this up over time. You can come back to the video and start to build this up. You could do this while you're outside. You could do it at home in your own time. Good. One more. And then step on the spot. I mentioned earlier that balance is a dynamic concept. It's not just about standing on one foot. So we're going to bring in the tightrope now. And this is going to work. I'll demonstrate first while Jill and Lucy still step on the spot. We're going to think about our walking, bringing one foot in front of the other. I'm using poles for support, but to make it slightly harder, I might be quite light on the poles. So I'm not strapped in, and then I could turn round. So Jill and Lucy are going to join me now. They're going to have a go. I can turn round. Lucy's going to make it, her version's going to be slightly harder, because when she gets to the end of her tightrope, the space that you might have in your living room or your kitchen where you're watching this, she's going to do it backwards. I'm doing it backwards now. But if you're not comfortable doing it backwards, let's go forward and backwards again. I can make it harder by taking the poles away. If I'm not comfortable going backwards, you can just turn round. Jill's turning round, and we go backwards. We go back the other way, walking forwards. Good. And let's come back to stepping on the spot. And that's a nice exercise that you can do. It's a nice exercise that you can do when you're outside, finding a spot where you, maybe even there's a line painted on the ground, and you can use that to challenge your dynamic balance that way. We're going to bring in one more exercise, and then we'll just loosen off through our backs. With this exercise here, you're going to step across and balance. So we'll start all together now, stepping across and balance. And this is quite useful if you're moving suddenly sideways and you have to stop yourself. You can make this harder by jumping from one foot to the other, but you don't have to. This is about you working at the level that's right for you, hopping across and supporting, finding that balance. If somebody were to knock you in the street, this is quite useful to be able to hold yourself as you've moved quickly sideways. So we'll just do a couple more. Find the balance and step back on the spot there. We're going to finish off. We've been working our trunk quite a lot through this whole session. In all the exercises, balance comes from using your tummy muscles. Our back's been working, we've been working our hips. So we're just going to loosen our spine just to finish. If you have the poles, hold them to the end. Lucy's going to have her arms out to the side. Just gently loosen off, side to side. So loosen through your spine. So with all these exercises, you can choose to do them outside, find a quiet space, do them outside. You might want to join a walking group where these exercises are built in. You might want to come back to this video and do that and do these again. Remember to also check out the other videos that you might want to do on the Parkinson's UK YouTube site. Enjoy your exercise, enjoy being outside, move well, be well balanced, have fun.